Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for December 28, 2021. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com. We're going to scroll down, look for the Zoom banner. If you'd like to be part of the SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, the information's here. Just click through. We're going to click through to the Zoom platform, which here we are now. I'm going to enter, and the call will be live, so turn down your speakers.
This was a big one, and the group continues to work on this. It comes up often, even on the weekends and such, when it's just me doing the work. And what I had done with this new startup scan is I had gone down every single thing and put priority for startup scan. This one, believe it or not, was a high priority, and I'm going to show you in just a minute the whole verbiage. And this is it. Immediately, let me just move some of this. Immediately cancel, clear, purge, delete, disarm the effects of all stories, drawings, tattoos, thought forms, chaos, magic, root work, voodoo dolls, candle work, head in jars magic, demon magic, key magic, and everything from A to Z that ever was, is, and will be done with evil and or negative intentions against me, my loved ones, my pets, those who want to help me, my belongings, my thoughts, my dreams, and my success. So, that's a rather, I don't know anymore where I got that. Some probably on Grabavoid. They, sometimes people go in and you pull up a number and there are some other requests. But we want this one, and kind of typed in here, we're wired, most of us, to believe this kind of thing is not real, and it may be real. It may very well be real. And so you can always, if you see an interesting code like that, you could always go in and just see if there's a benefit to also use that voice box of yours, which is such a high performing gadget in your body.
Question?
Yeah.
Do you put in keywords to find these
well, this one, yeah. This one I did not find. What happens if I'm reading something and it strikes a chord, I go into Grabavoid to see if there's a code. And what happens is sometimes overnight, other people wrote things in. And this is where I saw this one. Somebody had written it in and they had a code. And so I at that point, put it in to see if it was a priority for the group back then. Because this is a weird one.
Yeah.
And it was a very high priority. So I added it. I thought, what the heck? Then when I shortened our scan, because I thought, there's no sense to have all this stuff in there if it's not our top priority. This strange thing, again, was a priority for the startup scan. So we have to look. This is, certainly nothing I ever thought I'd be dealing with, much less talking about with other people to, further cement my craziness. But this does appear, and I do talk with people who have been victims of this sort of thing, and it does show up. One person that in particular that I was working with, I think I mentioned this before, she had been to every kind of doctor, then she went to every kind of alternative, and finally she came here. And it was all this kind of thing. She's a therapist, and these things, as she cleared people, she does, even though she's, Western medicine, she also does some past life and things like that. And it was all this kind of energy, which she's in the process of clearing. A lot of it is your awareness, but that's where it came from. I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have had any idea how to find such a thing, but it was on there. Somebody else had typed it out, and there was a code.
Okay, could you list the website where you found that one?
Absolutely. Okay. It is swingnumbers.info. And it's a wonderful site. They're doing such good work.
Right, regular to look up things, but
that's where I got it. But I wouldn't have known to type any of this in. It's just that when I went in, somebody else had typed it in.
it just doesn't seem like it expands on your keyword.
No. You have to. Unfortunately, you have to put the exact thing in, and then if you save it, say there's no code, just save your request and go in the next day. Very often, they now have a code. Now you have to kind of look, and use your own brain. For all we know, we don't know what they're doing to get these codes. I have to hope they're ethical and that we don't have a bunch of chimpanzees throwing darts at me. But I feel very blessed to have found this site.
So, Steve?
Yes.
Sometimes when you're looking for something, look down the whole page and you'll find things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to go through a couple pages because it's so random at times.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they change all the time. So sometimes you'll see pretty normal ones, you might say. And sometimes you run across something like this, which is a little bit more out of the box.
Right.
Yeah.
Every day they have
Is that how you get these? That's how I have come across some of them.
Yeah, I mostly just read something and it sounds powerful and I go to see if there's a code. But yeah, every now and then when I look, I see I'm guilty of not turning the healing numbers info off. You really have to turn it off and turn it back on to see all the other requests.
Yeah.
And so now here's just a few things while we're at it to think of. I like this Inspire Peace. That's a pretty good one. But also back up to the wiring, we are still conditioned, so many of us, not to question certain things. One might be our doctors, one might be certain industries, one might be our government officials, the FDA, etc. There's nothing wrong with questioning, and we are seeing, according to medical information, certain things in the hospitals on a much higher level. And from what I've learned, the doctors are not checking for the most part to see if the person has the vaccination. They are not wanting to do any linking. Here's a few other things. We've got occlusions, strokes, aneurysm. One of the things, and I did later find the code for this, and I did a blog post, and this is in the blog post. There are a significant number of nurses who have refused to take the vaccination and have been fired, which means there's a shortage of qualified nurses. So if you
I'm hearing that too.
Yeah. So what happens if you have an emergency like any of these things? You have to work fast. You have to know where the equipment is. You need to know what to do. And that's not happening. So there's a code. Look at the most recent blog post, which is dedicated, by the way, to Ray, and has the link. I'll put it in here as well on if you would like to, see a few pictures of Ray and Terry and even donate towards funeral expenses. But anyway, we've got these things that appear to be going on, and yet we have also an apparent doctor obsession with getting people these vaccinations, which are not literally vaccinations. It's still an experiment. Now, these are some things I typed out that apparently there are no codes. There may be. And this, I get a little carried away here. Defeat the plan to enslave humanity. Sorry about that. I don't know that there's a code. But I want you to look up this woman. Are you familiar with Barbara Marx Hubbard?
No,
Anybody?
I've never heard of
Oh, long time ago.
She has been highly acclaimed, and yet she's got a direct quote that what we really need to do is kill off about 1/4 of our population because they're of no service to us. And she even says, God creates, we destroy. It's pretty wild. And then, is COVID-19 a hoax? I can't tell you that, but I can tell you sometimes I think it is. But you go on down. Let's just show you what else we required today. Let's get back to Let me just make this a little larger. So we did that, and then we wanted a deeper scan. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And interestingly enough, for the deeper scan, the very top one was for spiritual strength. And so this bioetheric illumination, I've added a lot to the Gong on that. So, and then we did want some of these other things, but this was the top request, and I thought that is a time, I think, with the loss of Ray and other things we see in the world. And so this is, I'll send you the scan, but this is what we asked for. Remove implant for blood clots. Is there such a thing? I can't tell you. I don't know. But let's go ahead and there's that code again, that we have an 83% benefit of chanting if we're so inspired. It's not right. Hold on a second. My little copy thing isn't wanting to work. We don't know if there's such a thing as etheric implants. You know, well, I think we've said this before, what Raymond Gray said. He said, I don't know if there's such a thing as these implants, but I do know when I gouge them out, people get better. So anyway, we've got a little stress related to that. We can't get in there to turn on the phone. So let's, we've got, these are radionics rates. Well, that's what I've been doing lately, just to go with a shin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say Raymond Grace, when he does this on that, it works out pretty good?
It sure does.
Mm.
So, you know, these are things I don't, you know, really never thought I'd be getting into this stuff. But we've got a 90% benefit of running this in our shin today. Let's look at this, remove implant for physical malfunction. And there are people out there charging a fortune for this kind of work, and we don't even know if it's legitimate, but we sure can say, what does it hurt to douse this in our SRC? You know, we're a little stronger with this one. Remove implant malignancies. And I'm just going to take this up to the 1,000. A little stress there, but we do take it up to the 100.
Hey, Cathy.
Yeah.
Can I share something that Ralph put on
Yes.
chat on Telegram? So
Absolutely.
this woman, it has to do with the shin, was what made me think of it. So this woman needed help with a broken hip joint that, anyway, Ralph told her to go into the shin and reverse the damage due to, you know, whatever, however you want to word it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was really cool. Reverse the damage in the shin.
I love
you
that.
can
Yes,
probably
yes.
think a lot of things on your body that you might want to reverse.
I love that. Let's put in there reverse damage from all implants.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love that. Thank you.
You know, speaking of the chat on Telegram, I don't really follow it all that much, but sometimes at night or early morning I'll just kind of go through. But Ralph gives a lot of little snippets like that, you know, that are really useful. So it might
Yeah, I've got to get in the habit of listening. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he just, people ask questions and he just gives a very succinct answer on what to do, kind of like this one. Anyway, he's fun. I'm bad about watching the videos too. I haven't, I'm way behind on that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And we do know, because technology can measure it, that we do have all these subtle bodies, which is apparently where the implant information goes, if it goes at all. So. Okay, and there are, for example, I'm going to show you our sustenance balancer now in a minute further. I need to go through that sustenance balancer list this week and get rid of some of the stuff we just don't need in there. Let's just see, sustenance balancer. Would that be of any benefit to have some of these in there for the week? Well, that one is. So let's get down here. So here's the list so far. Oops. Well, I hope I may not have saved my sustenance balancer stuff since I have it in. So let me just show you what we're asking for. Arginine, cellular repair, disable chemical delivery systems. This is a radionics in reference to cholesterol. This is an interesting, enzymes and hormones for the brain. This healthy habits, healthy hearing. Niacin, vitamin C, source chi, mega hydrate, which is a rather interesting product to get the most out of your water if you're having trouble with absorbing. Oil of wild oregano. Experience the miraculous. That never sounds too bad. NAC, which you may want to investigate, and we're asking for that. And some of this, like in my case, if I have these products, I'm going to pull them out and take them, since it looks like this week we are asking. And absorb vitamin B7. Here we did ask for a code to stress-related aneurysm. Remove anger. We asked for that off. Of course, it is a group. This was the smash command, which we again asked for in our scan. And we're just kind of experimenting with this at this point. But
can you go over the chemical delivery system, what you mean by that?
Well, I'll have to refresh my own memory. But we have, I know that we have the lymphatic system. We're going to look at how we're doing with all that in a minute. We have our drinking water. We have the air we breathe. I'm going to guess that's what that's about. Let's just see if, wait a minute. I'm not saving any of these as a cocktail here, just seeing if we want them in for this week. Okay, this is pretty much gonna do one last one. Oh, so just that, really, that one is all. And then if we go in here, let's also add the auto. I'm going to save as a cocktail, and I've already taken last week's out. So now I'm just going to put group. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I meant to put it down here. And now we'll just go, takes a little bit to load this. But again, I'm just experimenting with this, and give me any feedback you have to see what it does for us on a chi level, but how our chi performs. It doesn't mean you don't take things. So that's that. And then finally, let's just see where we are. We worked on the zeros last week. Let's just see stress-wise where we are. Significant substantial radiation involvement affecting lymphatic system. Let's just go ahead and put that in the Gong. How about in the shin, reverse damage from radiation? This is the chemical involvement, which is affecting our bones, which was a pretty high number before. Let's see where we are with that at this time. That's still, look at that. So we're going to have to continue in reference to that. I really like that, Sharon. Thank you for telling us about that. Here again is lymphatic. And this is the pesticide involvement.
Cathy, I'm glad you mentioned that chemical involvement affecting skeletal system. I ran that on the elemental tool many times, and I continue to get very high numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I ran it and ran it and ran it until it finally came down. But that was something I would not have thought of doing.
I'm telling you, it's really, when you think about these things, and of course we're working subtle, so this is extremely proactive, as we all know that. I just like to say it. But so you see these things that sound ominous. We're actually in the process of clearing our field of the stress of that information. And doesn't mean you go to the doctor and you hear this kind of thing. Now here's the eyes. Look at that. My goodness. So a little bit.
Whoa, that's me.
All right. We need to do a little more work on that too. Good old Wonder Click. See, this is the kind of energetic stress we're seeing right at the top. I'll be doing prayer warrior work on that, but also whatever we might be doing that opens us up. And it might be something as simple as anger. May not be, the type of thing. It might be gossip. There's all kinds of things that open us up. There's a little stress related to depression. Look at this stuff. I'm not sure why these things are coming up. Possession correction. I've just been keeping the prayer warrior running. We've got our little search, remove, clear, which is a benefit. This is why I believe in running this every day, just to get your information through the clearing. This is interesting. Help, rejecting, complaining. Could complaining open us up to that kind of stress? It probably could. Probably shouldn't have started the Gong, but let's see what we've got here. He said, look at that. You got to watch your words. They say whatever we say, but whatever comes out of our mouth is what we're going to create. This is one of Ray's legacies, his words to ponder. He always had such a cute quip. Terry was reminding me when they first met, and of course they met in 10 days, they were engaged, very shortly thereafter married, and they were going on their 50th wedding anniversary. And he said to her, I'm going to take you to high places. And then they ended up, she was a trapeze act. So he had that little wry sense of humor always. Here we have the message. The idea is not responsible for the people who believe in it. That's an interesting thought. Procrastination, gloomy, chagrin, a little stress related to digestion. We don't necessarily need the digestion cocktail right now, but it's definitely on the horizon. So I think we're about done. I'm going to send all this out in the email anyway. So I guess that's it for today.
That sounds good. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot. You too.
You take care of yourself.
You too. Thanks.
All right.
Concludes the SRC4u Zoom call. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.